Honda's new CB1000 Hornet SP would seem to have it all. It's powered by a snarling 155 bhp superbike engine, runs a top-spec Öhlins TTX 36 rear shock, Brembo Stylema brakes, a quick shifter, auto blipper, and a full armory of electronic rider aids. Even if you put its asking price to one side, the Honda is an impressive creation. It's rapid, exciting, sharp handling, easy to ride and well-equipped. The Öhlins rear shock and Brembo Stylema brakes ooze specialness. Attention to detail is top-notch and the level of equipment is more than generous. It's hard to fault, and when you factor in the price it becomes even more tempting. While costing significantly less than an exotic Super Naked, it's just as thrilling on the road. And whether it's the CB1000 Hornet SP or the £1,000 cheaper base model, it comfortably undercuts its closest 900cc and 1000cc rivals. Honda deserve a round of applause because not only is their new Sports Naked good news for your wallet, it's a breath of fresh air for motorcycling in a world where performance bikes have become ever more expensive and out of reach. Ride quality and brakes. Where the outgoing CB1000R has a backbone frame running over the top of the engine, the new Hornet uses a twin-spar steel design, which has a couple of useful advantages. It has a lot more lateral stiffness, 70%, for extra cornering stability, and it allows the airbox to be placed on top of the engine, for a better downdraft effect into the throttle bodies. The rear of the engine is rubber-mounted. The wheelbase is short, and the weight distribution is set for a forward-biased 51-2% or 48-8% ratio, thanks to the engine, rear shock, battery, and airbox all being positioned towards the front of the machine. To ride the new CB1000 Hornet SP is every bit as simple as its smaller CB500 and CB750 siblings. Despite weighing a claimed 212 kilograms fully fueled, it's manageable at low speed and never feels heavy. The seat is low, but the riding position is spacious and natural. The color dash easy to read and the clutch lever nice and light. When we first rode the new generation CB750 Hornet a few years ago, one of the things that immediately stood out was how fast it steered, and the CB1000 is just as agile. That's down to its short wheelbase, front weight bias, and the use of a narrow 180 rather than fatter 190 section rear tire. In fact, it's so lithe to change direction and to get effortlessly to full lean you might assume there would a trade-off in stability. But there isn't. Even accelerating hard over bumps or using lots of handlebar pressure to flick from left to right, the Honda remains as solid as a rock. Handling. Your uber-powerful fancy-pants European Super Naked would no doubt have the legs on the Hornet on a track. But on the road its handling is so light, accurate, and confidence-inspiring you'd hang with the best of them. Steering is effortless, and you never have to fight the front end for an apex. It just sweeps majestically in. Braking feel and power from the Brembo Stylema and rear Nissan setup is superb. The Öhlins shock and Showa forks work beautifully together for perfect control, and the settings are bang on out of the crate. There's loads of ground clearance and grip for the road. Original equipment Bridgestone S22s are more than up to the job, but you'd endow the Hornet with an extra layer of plushness and reassurance with Pucca new generation replacement sports tires. Engine. The Hornet uses the tried and tested 1000cc inline 4-cylinder motor from the 2017 Fireblade. It's retuned, less for top-end whack and more for real-world grunt and acceleration, with new pistons, milder cams, and shorter second to fifth gear ratios. While the standard Hornet makes a claimed 150 bhp and 77 pound-feet of torque, an exhaust valve fitted in the SP can boost those figures to 155 bhp and 79 pound-feet of torque. It also gets a slip and assist clutch for a lighter lever action, and to reduce engine braking, Honda claims 48 mpg, which gives a theoretical 178-mile range from its 17-liter tank. It may be budget, but the CB1000 Hornet SP boasts a raft of rider aids. The SP comes standard with a 3-way adjustable up and down quick shifter, 5 riding modes, traction control with integrated anti-wheelie, engine brake control, and ABS. Before we get too carried away, it has to be said that compared to Super Naked royalty, like the KTM 1390 Super Duke R, Ducati Street Fighter V4, or Aprilia Tuono V4 factory, the Honda lacks a tiny bit of refinement, luxury, and pub bragging power. But in terms of actual riding enjoyment, and putting a dirty great grin on your face, the Honda is every bit as thrilling. It'll rail through a corner with complete poise and pull effortless, perfectly balanced wheelies with a flick of the clutch in third gear. There's so much power on tap it's impossible to max out on the road, and the soundtrack that serenades your ears is pure, race-bred superbike rawness. Best of all, you can have all this fun, drama and speed for a lot less than the price of a European Super Naked. Who needs MotoGP-inspired lean-sensitive electronics and needless for a naked aero? The retuned Superbike motor is docile from the get-go, and the power delivery is smooth and predictable, albeit slightly spiky from a closed throttle, and the gearbox is slick, especially using the up and down shifter. But despite its trademark Honda civility at normal speeds, it's still a potent machine and brutally quick when you want it to be. We've almost become sanitized to reading about huge power figures, and the Hornet's 155 bhp doesn't look like much on paper. But when you're on a bike with this kind of oomph and hanging on by your fingernails with the scenery smearing past your retinas, those figures scream at you. 155 bhp is just 5 shy of what an 01 Suzuki GSX R1000 K1 used to make, and I think we can all agree that thing was a rocket ship. Put it this way, the Hornet's wheelie control works hard for its money in the first 3 gears and lets you play the fool with it switched off. In terms of drama, the Honda has it in spades. Sure, it doesn't rumble like a V-twin, rasp like a triple, or growl like a V4 or crossplane cranker, but when its exhaust valve opens at 5,700 revolutions per minute, all sonic hell breaks loose and the world becomes a better place. Reliability and build quality. You'd think there would be corners cut to make the Honda affordable. Inevitably, there must be under the surface, but they're well hidden. Build quality is superb, and the SP's satin metallic back and gold paint job, which for those of a certain age will conjure images of JPS Formula One cars and 3-liter Ford Capris, looks superb. Attention to detail is nerdier than you'd imagine. The Hornet may look like a simple roadster, there's more to it than meets the eye. Speaking to project leader Tomoki Nishijima during our morning coffee stop during its world launch in Spain, he proudly points to the holes drilled in the wheel spokes, the hollow front engine bolt, and the way the engine hanger is made, all designed to give the front end just the right amount of flex and feel when the bike is leant over. Or the shape and size of the vents cut in the front of the airbox to create the perfect flow of air going into the engine. It's a heartwarming touch to a simple machine.